things.
Exactly. You know, they're diverting a lot of supplies. One good thing with the area where I was, the people there were a little more reasonable than the authorities there were a little more reasonable than they were otherwise. We did have a problem in the representative is the top person here. He's like the equivalent of an ambassador. He's a UNHCR representative. When I first came, it was a person named Art DeFair, who was from Canada, a businessman there, and he wasn't a UNHCR professional. And they brought him in to kind of make some changes, kick some butt. And he did, but he was not a very diplomatic man. Now, the person who came in was basically a sycophant who replaced him, Mr. Blavo, who was from Ghana. And in my presence, he went around all over saying, the Americans are causing all these problems. I don't know what the Americans doing. Well, of course, Americans have an interest in it if they're the donors. I saw the USAID. This is the first time the United States Agency for International Development got into a refugee case. And they, I think, did a good job trying to challenge the government on a lot of this stuff. Now, first of all, you have to, of course, balance the humanitarianism with the practicality, kind of a pH balanced policy, I guess you'd say. And then, but I also believe that we have to do more to try to help these countries develop their economies. We would not have the Mexican economic migrants that we have now if we had done more to help Mexico develop its economy. Sometimes the Mexicans themselves put some barriers in there. They remember that we fought a war with them, and even if most of our students, as you know, don't know that. And I think we need to do, well, we certainly need to do more about controlling our guns here. People from all over the world are coming to the United States now to purchase guns. They're amazed how lax it is to purchase any kind of gun. And we need to do more public education. I spoke recently with Secretary Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State, who spoke at Vanderbilt, and talked to her about when she first came into office, she wanted to take the foreign policy on the road, do more public education. That did not work out well. She had a very ugly incident at Ohio State with some demonstrators, and it went all over the world. So those are the things we need to be doing, and one reason I wrote the article and one reason I try to do more is to try to help the public understand what's going on and how it affects us and what we must do about it.
Now, what about the United Nations? Looking at in your study dealing with that, I know that they've characterized some of these states as narco states and et cetera, but what are they doing in reference to all of this chaos? Because this is general chaos in an entire section of Africa, all over East Africa, is it not?
I'm not sure about all over East Africa. I think Kenya and Celeste, look, Tanzania are pretty much stable. Most of those countries, so you've got, of course, in Southern Africa, you've got the problem with, well, I wanted to say Rwanda, but not Rwanda. That's kind of stabilized a little bit. You've got in Zimbabwe, I started to say Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, they, of course, lately has been a basket case. This man has taken, you know, the jewel of Africa, one of the most, in terms of natural resources and all kinds of things, and had the farmers there, the white farmers who were producing so well, and basically turned it into a basket case, and people are leaving. They've got inflation like Germany's was in 1923. Congo, formerly Zaire, we backed before, well, we backed Mobutu, President Mobutu, who stole the country blind. He was like Marcos in the Philippines. He basically, like $8 billion in the Swiss bank accounts, and meanwhile their teachers not getting paid. Again, a country with lots of natural resources. If they're managed correctly, I think this would be a developed country. You have some good points. Liberia was put on a list of Foreign Policy Magazine's list of 10 worst countries at one time. Now they are doing a very good job under their new president, who was on the on the Jon Stewart show, Daily Show recently, talking about her book, and she has been a very productive leader. I hope to see more from her. I believe that the people in the current Obama administration, they are not ideologues, they're very practical people. And I think that they will be very sensitive to these problems in a way that the Bush administration certainly was not. The Bush administration, for one thing, because of their domestic coalition, was trying to cut any kind of family planning aid to or ending it for a lot of countries. They were not as pro-development as they should be.
Well, do you believe over the last 2 or 3 minutes that the policy that we have can materially affect some of these countries? I mean, our policies and what we do and what we do not do?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're part of a world. It's you know, one author said the world is flat. I'm not sure about that, but basically I pick up on my phone and we get somebody in India or somebody in another country, and whatever we're doing here is affecting other countries. I would like to see more done to help industrialize in Africa. They're going to get some what we call sweatshops, but if we can, you know, do so, industrialize in such a way that the people are not, you know, as they were at the turn of the 20th century,